everybody. It is Wednesday, and as many of you know, Wednesday is my favorite day of the week because I get to have cool conversations with absolutely incredible people. And today is no exception. This firecracker that I'm going to introduce you to shortly, we've been talking off screen before we hit record, and she is so passionate that there's many times I'm like, wait, save this for the people, save this for the people. So before I introduce today's guests, I, of course, want to give a big shout out to our Pursuit 365 founder, Shelly Lynn Hughes. Shelly, thank you so much for this opportunity that you've given me and that you've given everyone in our community to be here to share our stories. Also, I need to thank our Pursuit 365 Talk Wednesday sponsor, Leanne Miles at the Clinton Wilkins Mortgage Team. So Leanne, thank you for your generosity that allows us to be here with you sharing these incredible stories. Without further ado, this amazing lady that I'm bringing to you today, she has quite a story. She hails from Hungary, which she will share with you, but I'm pleased to introduce you guys today to Csilla Surman. Csilla, welcome. So lovely to have you here today. And please tell us, when did you come to Canada? When did you make your way over?
It was in 1989.
Wow, amazing. And where in Hungary are you specifically from?
Budapest.
Budapest. I've had the pleasure of visiting your homeland. It was my first European experience, and what an incredible place. It really holds a special place in my heart, and rich in history, rich in culture, friendly people. You got to go. If you haven't been to Budapest, I highly encourage people to go visit. It's really easy to navigate there, but it's not about that. You're in Canada now. And what brought a woman from Budapest, Hungary to Canada? How did you land here?
Well, for me, actually, it was a job transfer. I was working for Estee Lauder, and I was just lucky. I think that they were introducing the skincare center in Vancouver. I mean, in Canada, specifically in Vancouver. It was the first location. And just like all the multinational companies, it's one word, one image. So we had one international trainer who was from Paris, and she made sure that every country has their own trainer, and we all dance the same way with our fingers. It's that's when I said, one word, one image. So even the massage is everything. It was very structured. Everywhere in the world, you got the same service, the same way, the same pressure, the same everything. I don't even know how to say sequences. So therefore, she chose me because I spoke the language, I had the knowledge, and yes.
So 1989, you come from Hungary to Vancouver, BC. That must have been a bit of a culture shock.
It was actually, I was still living in an Airbnb, but I was already working. So I had no place to live, but I had a job, So yes, it was a culture shock. And, I thought I speak pretty well English, and still my first client, it was from Texas, and I was going home crying that I'm moving back home because I understand nothing in this country. So there were a couple of sweet things, that And I made a couple of mistakes too, because, just when you try to really, really explain things, then you talk yourself into a trouble. And, but it's just was really sweet memories.
Well, it's so, yeah, we're human. At the end of the day, we're all human. And as much as, we always want to, you know, we always put our best forward, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be without mistakes. But let's face it, most of the biggest lessons we learn in life are through mistakes, through failures, through screw ups. So we have to honor those, be thankful for them, and move on, which you have clearly done. So you are no longer on the West Coast. So you're in our nation's capital. You have planted your flag now in the Ottawa area. So how long have you been in Ottawa?
10 years I've been in Ottawa. Yeah.
Wonderful. And so now you are no longer working for Estee Lauder. You are your own woman with your own company. So how long have you been self-employed? How long have you been in this entrepreneur land? And I'd love for you to share a little bit of that story and that journey with us.
Well, I've been in the somewhat of an entrepreneurial land from quite a while. I had a very colorful career, so to say. I stayed with Estee Lauder after my transfer another 3 years, and then I kind of wanted to know, like, what's out there. Like, I plateaued my knowledge with Estee Lauder and all the whatever I could do and teach. So because um, I'm, I was young, and I didn't know really just the professional lines from Hungary. And the first international line that I was introduced to in Hungary, it was Estee Lauder. And I really have to mention that I was lucky that I was taught by Estee Lauder herself, because it was the first own standing store that she opened in Hungary, being herself Hungarian descendant. Like, she opened a big store, and she was there teaching, and never gonna forget. And I think she was the best teacher for me at 80 somewhat year old in high heels. She was standing there from 9 in the morning till 6 in the evening, and we were all dying. And she said, if I can do it, you can do it. And that was a lesson for me for a lifetime. You know what? I'm going to bite my tongue, but I'm still going to stay in high heels, whatever, until the curtain is going down. But I'm going to look like presentable everywhere, in every situation, how I have to. And so anyway, after the Estee Lauder in Vancouver, I worked for other big companies as a consultant in Holt Renfrew, Guerlain, Lancaster, La Prairie, Lancôme, doing their facials. And that was a very, very good lesson, because I learned a lot. What are the competitors? What's out there? But then I said, well, how about the professional lines? So I started to work in a hammam and in a Turkish spa and in an Egyptian spa. So kind of worked a little bit everywhere, and every other day somewhere else. And then I started to know more people. So I decided, well, it would be nice to have a little bit of my own out of my home on the side, and to kind of combine all the knowledge in one spot, in my room. Because when you work for other companies, you cannot really do what you want, because there are protocols and you have to follow and respect. But there are so many wonderful things everywhere. So I started to do in my own studio all the knowledge that I gathered from everybody in one room. And then I traveled quite a bit, so I learned a lot of things upon my traveling too. And then I started to work for Fairmont Pacific Rim at the Below Stream Spa. I was there, one of their head therapists too. And really the wonderful thing about Vancouver, it was that I met so many dignitaries and very well-known actors and people, and that was quite, for me, coming from Hungary, it was, wow, do I really treat Al Pacino, or do I really treat Halle Berry, Sting, and it was, and they're so normal, wow, and the Twilight crew, it's right in my hand, it's like, oh my God, and it's like, they're people, like it's just, and then you just really, it's a different level of your profession, I think. And then, like I said, going back to your question, I moved 10 years ago here to Ottawa because of personal reasons. My husband, I was going to move actually to Cayman Islands. I was headhunted by Ritz Carlton, and sometimes I'm joking with him when it's minus 30 out here. I clearly had an amnesia because, from plus 30, I moved from minus 30. I don't know what happened with me that time. I clearly, poor guy, it's like, I don't even know how does he still has any skin or any ear left, because when the freezing rain is coming or something, he says to the cats, there she goes, she starts again. Because, I mean, how could I not? I mean, who likes that? I mean, lovely winter, but it's too long and too cold. So anyway.
You truly love this man. You truly love this man. that says everything. You're a good woman, Csilla.
And I'm still here, right? Can you believe it? Yes. But the wonderful thing it is about Ottawa, I mean, Vancouver has the greenness all year around, right? And you get used to it. But here, I never believed it. In 2 weeks, there is spring. I'm very blessed to have a beautiful garden, but I'm like, wow. And when the morning you wake up to the birds are singing, it's like, oh my goodness, and look, there is more flowers and more flowers, and oh wow, wow. Yeah. So that's nice. Let's and then of course I had to work something, because we all have to work a little bit. It's good for us, and especially I do share a lot of passion for my profession. I chose to have a studio out of my home, but I had no clients. So, I mean, that's lovely to have everything, I have the know-how, but you have to work on somebody, with somebody. And so I started to search outside. And of course, it was, it's a smaller city. Um, I had a lot of difficulties, finding a place where I was used to it. I just didn't know that this is so different. Moving to East Coast, for me, actually, it was a bigger challenge than moving from Hungary to the West Coast. Although I had to redo all my exams, everything, because, Lou, you have to yes, I had to redo my aesthetic exam. I had a job, but they told me you have 3 months to redo all your state exams. So it was very hard, very, very hard, because the first 3 months I was working, and of course you have a job transfer, you have to live up to the expectations. They look at you like, wow, she was transferred, so let's see who she is. You are under the magnifying lamp, so to say. So I went home. I was studying, and in Canada, in aesthetics, there is the nails also included, which in Europe it's not, which is a huge difference. It's, if you are an esthetician, you are an esthetician. If you are a manicurist, you are a manicurist. If you are a pedicurist, you are a pedicurist. So therefore, the estheticians, they are very, very highly perceived, because it's very hard, the school, very, very hard, and very hard to get in, and very hard to finish it too. It doesn't mean that once you get in, doesn't mean that you are going to be a good esthetician, because they might fail you and they tell you, sorry, It's just you don't represent this well enough. We can't let you to perform. So it's just
Standards
like
are very, very
very high, very, very high, very different. So um, yeah, so it was a hard start, but I think it was very nice that you start to work outside, and like I said, it's all the success comes with a little bit of sweating and crying, because that's how you meet where you live, right? You, if it's handed everything
right.
on red carpet to you, you don't really appreciate at the end of the day. Yeah, so I
I
think for
agree. I
success you
agree.
have to fight.
Perseverance, right?
Yes,
Perseverance. It starts with one,
persevere.
and then one becomes two, and then that word of mouth really starts to spread. So you're clearly, though, things have taken off, and your success is very apparent. So you not only do aesthetics in the traditional sense as you shared with us, but you also do oncology aesthetics, which I'd love for you to share a little bit more about. And then also, in doing some research on you, I noticed that you do something I've never heard of. So I was very intrigued, because I always, am interested in learning about things, I've never come across before. So intraoral massage. So let's start there. You tell us about intraoral massage, and then you can segue into the oncology aesthetics, because I know that is very, very near and dear to your heart.
Um, so the intraoral massage, in our career, we always search for new courses, what's new. I mean, not just in our career, in everywhere, like in every career, there are new courses, and there are trends also. So this, and I like to kind of keep my ears open and nose open, because you have to know where it's starting from. So if you press the button first, you might be a winner, you know and so there are a couple of courses out there, but I was lucky to take one of the best leaders in this field course, and it's a very interesting massage, because being a former massage therapist, obviously the anatomical benefits I understand much better, and it's physiotherapists are doing also the TMG massage, but it's purely for aesthetic beauty reason. If you think about, like we hold a lot of tension, we cannot say things, so what do? Sometimes even if in our sleep we are grinding, and we are using we don't even think about, we take our this part for granted, because we communicate a lot, we have expressions, so we are moving a lot this part of our face. So if our back is hurting and it feels good to be massaged, like it don't we think that this would feel nice too? And it's unbelievable, the feeling after that. I have a client, and she was the sweetest. After I finished for her, she said, if I wouldn't have ears to stop, my lips would go, my mouth would go all around. That's how loose I feel it. So it was so sweet. And this is a very, very, it's a massage style that you have to be very precise, very constructive, very patient, because you are repeating the same movements couple of times. I'm a former economist, so I was with numbers, so you have to be very precise, very punctual, very there. And I kind of, it's almost like meditation a little bit, but you really have to pay attention what you are doing. It's a little bit physical work, because it's just like a pianist, literally, like you are an artist, you are sculpting the face, and you are moving with your whole body. When you really see a therapist moving on a patient, it's like she's almost dancing. So it's
Mm.
fantastic. You really have to be in
We need,
symbiosis with what you are doing. Yes.
I think we need
And
some
you're just
YouTube
lifting.
videos. You're speaking to me. I'm a movement kind of gal, right? So you painted a very interesting picture there, but it sounds beautiful, really. And you're so right. It's funny as you're talking, and I'm sitting here going, yeah, like I have tension in my jaw. I find myself, I have to release my tongue from the roof of my mouth a lot, and like let a breath out. So you're exactly right.
Or
How much
sometimes,
tension.
just this, like unlocking, and I mean, this is not a problem, I think, to say it, although I don't know how to word it. We are aging, so it's things are sometimes not working that how they were. So you really have to kind of help it a little bit. There are blockages,
Absolutely.
there are, so we are used to everything. It's so working well, so well, things are just like it. Our metabolism is slowing down, and we have to work out more, or we have to just look at the piece of bread and just smell it, but not to eat it anymore as much. You know what I mean? So we have to watch certain things or help certain things. Or if you do eat a little bit more tonight, you don't eat tomorrow as much, to make the balance. So even this one, I just find, if you want to be active and move the same way, you have to be more aware about your body.
See, there's point number two. So it's interesting because you talked about your lesson learned from Estee Lauder, and that was a great little nugget. And there's another great little nugget that you dropped. And kudos to you, Csilla, for being that consummate learner, for never resting on your laurels, for wanting to stay on top of the trends, and really keeping yourself at the forefront of your industry. I truly applaud you for that. So oncology, though, oncology aesthetics, and my mom went through cancer back in the 80s, and she got to a point where she didn't want anybody, like she's never had a massage, she's never had a manicure or a pedicure, because she doesn't want anybody to touch her, because she was touched so much, back in the day. So is that a lot of what you find that you're experiencing with your clients in the oncology aesthetic world, or is it a different reason that people are leaning towards this?
If I may start, if you don't mind, Stephanie, how did I got first into this career? And then I go to
Absolutely.
where I broke my elbow. Just it was a simple accident. We went bicycling on a beautiful Sunday morning just after, the snow melted, and there were still patches of water in on the road, and I just was really watching the beautiful flowers that they were coming out, and I went into a pothole. So because my speed wasn't high, so I just fell over. So I really broke so badly my elbow that I had a Hungarian surgeon, the Hungarian descendant surgeon, actually at the hospital. And even he said, you know what, with all the national empathy that I'm trying to give you extra, that we have Hungarian roots, you might end up with an artificial elbow. But you know what, he did an amazing job after four surgeries. I'm doing really well, actually. Like I massage, I do everything, like it's everything like new. But when I had all these four surgeries, I said, well, I'm taking all these analgesics and morphines and everything. This is not right. I have to do something with my brain, because the reading, it's not enough. So I have to study something. And I don't even know how it came to me, this oncology aesthetic, that it was from Italy, that it's very, very few people are doing it. And I said, this would be something strong enough to kill my pain, that I don't listen to my pain. So this is like taking my attention enough. And that's how it started. Um, and really what made me to be so passionate about just working with the cancer patients, because just seeing, I always wanted to be a doctor, but I think just to see in the patient's eyes that thankfulness, that because uh, it's a different category of patient. I would call them even patients, because um, unfortunately, you really have to treat the soul and the body, and you have to know what you are doing. And this is a course that it's really important to take, because people, they could have like a port inside, so you cannot just do whatever you want. You have to know what you are doing when there are lymphatic nodes missing. You have to, it's just like a road closure. You have to know how to go on the other road. And uh, and and there was nothing, and unfortunately I have to say that it has to be a specific category for cancer patients. And it's very, very important, because it's really helping, like even if for it's for the post treatments, or even before, to prepare. The skin is going to a trauma because of the radiation. It's changing totally. The water retention, the texture, the color of the skin. So of course, patients, they do feel, well, I need help, but I'm ashamed to be helped. Where do I go? Because there is not available, and it's not out there. So that's why I'm so happy to hear that it's more and more available, because really, really, for me, it's very heartwarming to see that I really, somebody is very thankful for my touch. Like, it's really, really, really thankful. And it's very
Mhm.
tangible, and you can really feel it. And it's almost like I every single time I almost get tears in my eyes and my throat, that wow, this is, I think this is when because you have to give back at one point, because I'm 55. I have no problem mentioning that. But how do you want to end your career? Like, you have to do something nice. Either you have a school and you teach somebody, either you have to give back somehow for the community, some way, somehow.
Wow. A lot of our value systems really, really align, and that's so beautiful. And now more than ever, especially after these last few years, I'm not even going to say the bad word. We as humans really crave connection, and a lot of people really lack in that human touch and human connection. So the fact that you're able to give people a gift and share something of such immense value is absolutely so beautiful. So thank you so much for following your passion and sharing your gifts, because you can really tell from speaking with you that you don't just give a facial. You don't just slap lotions on people's faces, or you don't just what like you really put everything you have into each and every person. And hey guys, I've never met this woman outside of this, but this I can just feel from you that that passion oozes out of you, and that's a really incredible thing. So thank you for that, and I'm thrilled that you're sharing this with the world. So what brought you, Csilla, to the Pursuit 365 community? What drew you, or what inspired you to want to be part of Pursuit 365?
Well, I knew Jennifer Darlinger from Vancouver. Actually, she was a friend of my godson's mother, my best friend Tanya Slingsby, and we had a lot of art opening together, and choreo here goes. So, and I heard about this Pursuit C65, and then I was like, well, one day I should, but I thought only the famous people are in this group, like who am I, so I didn't really think nothing about that, and just like, I mean, how I just hushed away, like, no, don't even think about it. And then I really don't know. One day I woke up and just was, well, I should do something more because I really don't do any social media, nothing, not to promote myself, just to be part of, like of a group, where it's like you meet more ladies or and people, not just ladies, because like men too, like everybody, like mine, like who do share a passion, they did something interesting in their life or something silly, but but it's always, like so why not, from to see what is part of this group. So I just put in the Google, and I said, well, I'm gonna message Jennifer. She might remember me. And she was like, yes, you should, And then in 2 days, I was part of the group, and I was like, I mean, either you are good with, you cannot be good in everything. That's what my grandmother taught me. So I'm really not liking so much the technical part of being part of any kind of things when you have to deal with the computer too much and this and that. But so Jennifer is laughing on me always. Okay, how do I upload this? How do I download this? How do I? So, but it's fun.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Exactly. That's where like, oh no, you went too techie on me. I like the people thing, as you clearly do as well. Okay. So you did mention that you're not really a social media gal. You are on Facebook though. So if anybody is resonating with you, is Facebook a good place for them to reach out to you, or do you have another method that you
Instagram, everything. I'm there, but like I just don't do too much of an advertising. That's what I'm trying to say.
prefer?
But
Sure.
I'm up
But if
there.
somebody
Yes,
needs, right, and if somebody, well, and you clearly do, because you and I have been messaging back and forth through Messenger on Facebook. So,
yes.
guys, if anything, if you want to learn more about Csilla, or obviously she's a wealth of information, please, please, please reach out to her. So, Csilla, as we're wrapping up here, is there any last words that you would love to leave people with, or any little nugget of information that you'd love to share before we wrap up?
Um, just try to enjoy everything what we have. Life is really precious, and smile a lot, because there is cure for smiling lines with with different kind of massages. I'm just trying to be funny here, but I just think that especially us ladies, we really have to live a little bit more with like awareness, to still keep that radiant and almost sexy look, and that youthfulness, and that in us, because unfortunately, we are all aging, but it's everything is beautiful. Every age has its grace and its precious moments, and wiseness that we don't have when we are younger, so but we still like to look younger, right? So everybody, so a little bit of more awareness, doesn't matter if the house is dirty. I have an appointment to my esthetician. You choose the esthetician. The dirt will wait for you, and nobody's going to break into your
Oh,
house to clean it.
there's a mic drop moment. As Csilla said, the house can wait. Go book that aesthetics appointment. So get on the phone, get your fingers walking, and reach out and do something for you today. Thank you so much, Csilla, for your beautiful spirit, for being with us here today and sharing your amazing story. Just the fact that you're here, you know, in an interview setting where English is not your first language is a massive accomplishment, because English is not an easy language, that's for sure. So bravo to you. Thank you so, so much. And guys, have a fantastic Wednesday. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next Talk Wednesday. Have a great day, everyone.